Yes.
Hey, the loving, the honest and true man them there. Man a man with there. Yeah, man. It's our first episode for us today. Well, almost. It's actually our last episode in the month of June. But indeed, it's a brand new month, brand new time filled with possibilities and hope. And speaking of hope, we are the program whose guests are men, hosted by men, designed and just put all together for men. And it happens every Wednesday right here on the family station, Love 101. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison. And today I am with my co host for the past 11 years, Kevin Bailey. What you say? You good, me out?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Good. Greetings and salutation. Yes, Courtney in the place, the mailbox, and we want to man them from Moran Point to Negril. Listen up, and ladies, please encourage the man them to listen. It's gonna be a great time because we're gonna look at some stuff like when a man loves a woman. And ladies, you want to know how you can know if the love is real and if it's gonna last and what are some of the signs or symptoms. So some prognosis going to happen. So Courtney, yeah, what's happening? What's happening?
Well, how will it go on, you know?
Yeah.
Holy pa go on. It's a question: are we in a place where we know that the whole is going on, or is it that we are in a place of solitude? But we know, especially this program for the ladies, you may definitely want to know how a man will treat you when he loves you.
Yes.
Sure, that easy, don't it? Let's find out. Men definitely will know how they act when they love a woman. And we want to know a bit more today. So, when a man loves a woman, but today we're looking at it from the singles perspective. How does a man treat a woman that he loves? Big question. Do they all do it differently, or is there one general way in which it is done? How can a woman know when a man is emotionally available or unavailable?
Hmm.
Yeah? Can a man fall in love with a woman he's not yet married to? Isn't that a precursor? We'll find out what are some key things a man will do when he loves a woman, and can an emotionally unavailable man love? Kevin, that's a big question. I'm there.
I am telling you, magnanimous, humongous questions. And we have to be able to prepare our men and also our ladies as well so that they make the right choices before they get married. As we normally say, before you get married, keep your eyes wide open. After marriage, keep it half shut. So you want to do your due diligence. You want to do your due diligence before, and you want to do the process before. And then again, God wants us to have great relationships. He's the one orchestrating marriage, and we want to be able to help persons. So this is gonna be a very interesting program. We're gonna have our guest Orlando Henry. He's going to be with us, Courtney. So just want to big up, went to Portland recently, Courtney, and Olive Senior she says must hail you up and hail up the mailbox. She's actually blind, senior citizen, Olive Senior there in Portland, but she says she doesn't miss the mailbox and she keep praying for us. So all the wonderful people there in Portland, and especially Olive Senior, Courtney, I have to tell you, she just heard my voice because she can't see, and then she says, she calls me and says, Kevin from Mailbox. She says, I don't miss you guys, so tell Courtney,
Wow.
big up,
Wow.
and she really
Wow.
appreciates us. People like that praying for us, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lady Senior. Indeed, we are honored and privileged. We need to pray them, trust me. We're not
Yes.
perfect. We need to pray them. Holy, some more than others, like myself. Yeah. Well, man, oh man, what happened over this weekend? I don't know if I said my sister was discharged
Oh
from the
man,
hospital.
good news, man. That's great news.
Yeah, but we still have to be doing caregiving for her.
Yes.
She is walking. Her physical strength has slowly returned. Camille Morrison, you're
Hmm.
doing better and better, and we're thanking God for what's happening. Dave, Gary, Mikey, Owen, all of you, to Karen and all the support, Anishka, Lisa, Julie. Call her Julie Mango too, Thanks for the support. You have been excellent friends. The staff of Toyota Jamaica, they're on Whole Hope Road. Mr. Foster, blessings. Peter
Yeah.
Douglas as well from Woodcats International.
Ah.
Good guy.
Yeah, no, we keep praying, Courtney. I had the privilege of going to a wonderful company, Camcorp Industrial on Marcus Garvey Drive. It was a sad occasion because it was grief counseling. But one of the interesting things that I learned, and I want to big up Mrs. Vita Williams and the staff there, a lot of the men, the gentleman who died, and they were just sharing how impactful his life was, and they said it's the only man that they have had a paternal baby shower for in the company.
Whoa.
No, can you imagine that? They said this man was really committed to his children, and he was excited before the birth, and they had to throw a baby shower, a paternal baby shower. And it's the first company I've heard that did that. And it was so humorous too, because he just put a big balloon in his belly to as a symbol. But in the midst of that sadness, to hear that there is a company that would honor the man like that, and so I felt very, very encouraged, Courtney. Just
The,
to tell.
the narrative for fathers
Mhm.
really is changing, and I'm happy. It's been a better year, Father's Day.
Mhm.
It's just been all around,
Yes.
encouraging and uplifting. Well,
Mhm.
man, oh man, remember, we want to hear from you. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM. You can leave your comments via WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. We're talking and about emotionally unavailable man. Yeah, we're talking about can a man love a woman? And so that's the discussion we want to have. Do you avoid real life conversation? What does your relationship history say about you? That's all about finding out if the man loves the woman. What
Uh,
does he do when he loves a woman? Yeah, we're gonna find out
yes.
today.
It's gonna be very interesting, ladies. How about you? Have you ever dated an emotionally unavailable man that he wasn't connecting? How did you know he was emotionally unavailable? He has the adorable dimples, lovable laugh, makes you smile, probably six pack. But do you end up feeling a bitter taste in your heart after you dreamt that it would be wedding bells and life forever? What happened? So, ladies, we welcome your participation, and this is how you can participate in the program by leaving us a message via our WhatsApp, our Facebook, our YouTube. So, females, remember, no calls or voice notes allowed, but you can interact with us on WhatsApp, Facebook, and YouTube. We value your contribution specifically for this very interesting subject that we're dealing with. Most of us
Oh yeah.
want to be in love. Most of us want to have great, fantastic, romantic, passionate, committed relationship. But how do we get there? And is it still a possibility, or the thing just dead and thing mash up, everything mash up, yeah, man? So we can't bother. We're gonna have that conversation. Yeah, but Courtney, we have to do a shout out, Hmm?
Yes.
So
We also want to say and greet our guest, Mr. Orlando Henry.
mhm.
I'm hoping he's there. He can help us with the shout out. He's Alex Henry. I guess the Orlando is a middle name, yes. But indeed, we're having him with us today to help us with this shout out and to tell us about when a man loves a woman. Yeah, it takes time to know it. Anyway, that's not. I'm not
Brad,
persistent.
Brad, me
We
singer.
are going to find out as Alex is here with us. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Henry. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being a part of the program. But Kevin, let's give that shout out to our men. Mama!
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
that time
Happy
when we
Tuesday.
count to three and we
Yeah.
make our traditional shout for the past 11 years.
Hey.
1, 2, 3. Monday!
Monday. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man
yeah.
in the place. And we want to reinforce that. God has placed us here for a purpose, and we want to big up all the man them, committed man, integrity man them from one point to Negril. You have some man who them just committed to them family. And you have some man that does one burner, them not in the cheating thing. You have some man who work hard, them industrious. And man, we just proud of them, man. And we're getting better at this. So big up to the man them. Don't know.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying. Alex Orlando Henry is with us, and we're going to be taking a break shortly, but we just want to greet him and have him greet everyone else, those on Facebook, those on YouTube, those on our airwaves. Indeed. Good afternoon, Alex. You are muted. You may want to unmute so we can hear you. How are you doing, boss?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
Him look single for true, don't it, Kevin? For those of us who can't see him, look single, you know. So we're going to find out some things for him today and hear what he has to say about what does it look like when a man love a woman. And we're talking about from the single man perspective. So you don't know, so the man single. Is a woman him a look. Yes, so we're going to find out what's happening today.
Alex is great.
We go for a break. We come right back after this, and we hear more from Alex Henry about when a man loves a woman, the single man's perspective.
Yes. Make money now with the local City and Guilds and ABE Indoor Certificates and Distinction College. Start new online and face-to-face classes very soon in our Make Money Now career courses and get qualified jobs worldwide or start your own business in practical pediatric, geriatric, and psychiatric nursing, phlebotomy and pharmacy technician, early childhood education, child care, sharing, call center, event planning, receptionist, customer service, housekeeping, waitering, food preparation, bartending, cake baking, plumbing, motor vehicle, electrical installation, air conditioning, makeup, hairdressing, nail technician, and cosmetology. No subjects required, no age limits. Register this week and get City and Guilds Maths and English classes for free. Call us at 3564167.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco. Bashco. Be everything what you need. Bash quality service guaranteed and a Bashco. Get it on a Bashco and gives you more. Yeah, Bashco. Get furniture for your house, linen, everything for your kitchen, rocks, cups and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dallin Toussaint. On Thursdays, the Morning Watch is brought to you by Educom Cooperative Credit Union, providing value through service, and Bashco, the store that gives you more. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
At Flow, we are determined to get it right. Now, over 60% of Jamaica has access to our fiber fast network, with over 800 communities being upgraded since 2020. And there's more to come. Everything we're doing is inspired by our harshest critic, you. Join Jamaica's fiber fast network and rediscover Flow today.
Has it ever happened to you that you're scrolling on social media, spending the afternoon, and suddenly you accidentally give your crush a like? Don't get heated. Cool off with a Sprite. Dare and leave them a direct message. Who knows? They might even answer you. Sprite.
Cubby's Baby Wipes is ideal for your baby's delicate skin, infused with vitamin E and aloe vera, and available for home or on the go. The time by Cubby's Baby Wipes is...
It's now 5:46 in the afternoon here at Love 101. Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox. Indeed, co-hosted by Courtney Morrison and Kevin Bailey. Our guest this afternoon is Alex Orlando Henry, and we're talking about when a man loves a woman from the single's perspective. So you know he is single, and he's here ready to answer all the questions. You know, uh, welcome also to those on our Facebook and YouTube pages. It's great to have you with us. So before we get into the meat of the matter, we want to know a little bit about Mr. Henry. We want to know some questions. What are your love languages and how do you express them? And what are some simple things you practice as a single man when you see a woman you're interested in? Bow! When you see her, way the bossy. That's what we want to know when you're interested in her. But what are your love language and how do you express them as well?
I mean, that's everyone. Thank you for having me again. What are my love languages? I think I'd say quality time. I'm big on quality time. I think I enjoy spending time with whoever I'm dating. You know, I think that's big in any relationship, so to say, or situation. Depends on how these younger persons want to say it nowadays. So I'd lead more to that. Quality time.
So this man wants quality. You are big into quality. So what are some simple things you practice as a single man? When you see a woman and you're interested in that woman, as a single man, how do you make your move or how do you go about it? What are some of the thoughts that go to your head? What are your strategies? Just your flow. When you're interested, what is happening?
What is my flow when I'm interested in someone?
Yeah.
I think it's a matter of a persona, who the person is or who she is as a person. I don't really have a flow, so I can't say I do this and I do that. It really depends on how the vibes is, so to say. So if I like her, you know, whether by personality or her looks, then I figure something out. I can't really put pen to paper and say this is what I do or this is how to do it, because I think everybody has their unique way in showing different interests.
All right.
So you don't have something organized and set out where you already have your lyrics written down and all them stuff. Hmm? Hey,
No, I think
God
that's
must
so
have missing one
monotonous.
of
Like
his
there's no.
angels. What are you doing here on earth? Them sort of lyrics, you know, have them there. Set you're not ready to find out what's happening. You know.
I
So,
mean, I think they.
is there anyone that you have ever been interested in and you have made an approach? I'd love to hear one of those.
I think mine is a bit direct and straightforward. If I'm interested, it's a matter of I think I like the going out option. So I'd probably invite her out, you know, and based on that, then we see on the first date, because I think dating is important. So based on the first date, then I can see, all right, this might be possible, or I should just, you know, it was fun getting to know you and just leave it at that.
Yo, the man sharper than razor. And the man know how to make a stop sharper than any vehicle with air brakes. No man, caution.
So tell us, and already we have been interactions here, Stafford, big up Stafford from Patrick City. So let me big up all the man them in the studio before them get busy. One love, shalom. Appreciate that, Stafford. Don't know already. So tell us, Alex Henry is our very special guest. If you're just joining us, can a woman fall in love with an emotionally unavailable man?
Definitely. We see it all the time on social media. We see women falling in love with all type of persons who, you know, dealing with trauma, not there, like don't communicate effectively, or yeah, and they still love them. And when somebody, I wouldn't say somebody like me come along, but when a nice young man who, you know, probably highly interested comes along and, you know, decide to put out the interest and something, they're like, no, I'm fine with where I'm at, even though they're not getting what they want from the person. So the person is not giving them the emotions that they're looking for and some. So it has happened. We've seen it all over TikTok, the different stories, and we've heard about it in our very churches and different spaces. It's very possible.
Wow.
So
How
so
does
you
that
have
make
you have
you? Yeah, go ahead,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So you have some of the women them just say, I just saw him stay. Now pay him no mind, I just saw him stay. Everything else is fine. As Kevin said, we're talking with Orlando Henry. He's a minister. And Mr. Henry was born and raised in Kingston, where as a young man he faced many issues, ranging from his health to economic challenges. But not to be deterred, he sought actively to improve himself by delving deep into the Word of God, which, as he says, is his light. Young and unmarried, he takes every opportunity to spread the Word of God across Jamaica. You know, I felt a little bit, let's say, provoke one another onto good works. You don't have a gender bias when you're spreading the word. I was going to phrase it differently, but I'm not provoking anybody today. But he's our guest for today. And, young definitely, unmarried definitely. I remember in a ladies, no calls. Not because me young and single mean you can call today. Still no calls today. but Alex, tell us, how does a man treat a woman that he loves? What are some of the things he does? What are some of the things that become evident, that becomes hallmark or possibly even a trademark when he loves a woman? What are some of the things he does?
I think one of the things that we should know is that you can know when someone is very interested in you, and when somebody who is just tagging you along for the joyride. The emotions are different. How they communicate, how they treat you on a whole is different. There are different levels to certain things, I'd say. So you can really tell if somebody's very interested in you by how they treat you as a person, or how they listen to. Because for example, you can't say to me that you don't like A and I continue doing A. It simply means that clearly I care little to what you think or how you feel towards certain things. So if it's a matter that you say you don't like A, automatically I have to now take in consideration, all right, she doesn't like A, so I need to stop doing A and keep it pushing, because I like you enough to stop doing this that you don't like.
Oh, so you're saying that the lady would know if this is a fit for her if she finds certain behaviors disgusting or even hurtful, and she communicates that to the man.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, he'd automatically stop, because if she don't like it, why continue to do it? If you're really interested, I mean, if you don't care now, that's a different story. You just do what you want to do and keep it pushing. But you care about her interest, how she feels, how she responds to certain things. Then you kind of tone it down. Then she doesn't listen. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to engage in this. Full stop.
Any other thing you want to? You spoke about social media. We're seeing things on social media, TikTok. What about? Is it when you love the woman, you're going to be texting her a lot, sharing things with her? What? How does this social media thing go? Because we in a new age, not like Kevin and my days, where we had to make phone calls and we had to put our finger in the holes and turn the thing around and make dials. What does the social media platform and aspect look like?
So what I've recently on what I too have experienced is that, for example, so you have TikTok and you probably see something that you kind of relate to or you find interesting. You know, send this person, apparently sending TikTok is now sending reels and videos about different things, inspiration. You know, it kind of it cute and adorable and so much. So when you send this, it's just like, oh, I like this. We probably should do this, or this reminds me of you. And that is apparently now a thing that I say we as young person now engage in. Communication is a big thing, because if you're not communicating with the person, then what sense it make? I heard a friend of mine said recently that if we're not talking for if we're not if 24 hours has passed and I have not heard from you, we're no longer in a relationship, because clearly something has happened to you. Why I'm not hear from you? So I guess this is where it ends. That's what I heard. I don't know. I don't know if people actually do it or not and say, all right, then, because I think, in a real world, things can happen, but in that person's perspective, that's how they view it. After 24 hours and I don't hear from you, I am now a single person and I'm free to do whatever I want to do.
Whoa, that one sounds drastic, So they wouldn't try and search for them and report them to the police as missing or anything like that. Suppose something drastic has happened. And of course, I have a feeling that maybe they're not that rigid, but what they're saying is driving home the point that communication is the lifeblood. It's like oxygen of your relationship. I'm wondering. And then I noticed too that there can be different career paths, certain professions, persons are working shifts back to back and sometimes requires deep understanding as well. How do you view that, Sir Orlando, Alex? They're just some career path. Like some people say, boy, I want to marry a doctor, or I want to marry a lawyer, I want to marry a minister, like Courtney can tell you, but they're on call 24/7. And sometimes it requires a deeper understanding, respect. Or you navigate that.
I mean, I think it all boils down to the both individuals because that's tricky. I tell you a funny story. Some time ago in my life, some time ago, like some long time ago, not really that long, but
What is this young man talking about some long time ago? I don't get this. But go ahead with your story.
Yeah, I dated a nurse, and her shift schedule was a bit different from how I would function, and it was hard to keep up, so to say. I think if you want it to work, you can make it work, but I feel like it takes a lot out of the person. For me personally, I have nothing against. I just feel as if at that point in my life I couldn't have, so it just didn't go accordingly. But where career paths are, I think these both individuals have to have a conversation. Say, hey, sometimes I come home at this time, sometimes I'm busy at this time. I work shift that is so long. When I get home, I don't really want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. So are you willing to stay? Do you want to stay regardless of this? We can make it. But it all boils down to the persons that are in it. I wouldn't do it. I encourage anybody to do it if they want to, but I wouldn't.
This man is serious. This man is a no nonsense man. This man is cut and dry in yam and scrap. Mr. Henry. Interesting. We're going to go for a second and final break for the program as we approach the 6 o'clock time signal. So we're going to come right back. We're talking to Alex Henry on the mailbox. We're talking about when a man loves a woman from the single man's perspective. Come right back after this.
Yes. Strong man. Integrity man, I am a man. Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Rise with the sun and face the day with some Lasco instant chocolate. Pull a pack, stir it up. Hot or cold, enjoy the chocolatey goodness any time of the day and unleash instant smiles, instant happiness.
Downswell Records, in association with Best Dressed Chicken, presents the Kevin Downswell album launch and concert featuring John Mark Wigan, Prince Sarge, Alicia Taylor, Shane Mays, DJ Rebirth, DJ Sticko, Jermaine Cohen, and O'Neal Watson. Tickets $7,000, VIP $10,000 with preferred seating and food. SpurOpen.com/the album launch. Saturday, July 1, 5:30 p.m. The Ambassadors, 63 Hadley Park Road. Kevin Downswell. This is a can't miss.
Come with
Love 101 I do it again, and the place to be this Saturday is in Port Maria in the parking lot of Giant Supermarket and at the Rubis gas station. Yes, it's the I Love Summer Road Tour, and the second stop will be this Saturday, July 1. Show up for the love and fun galore. Love around the place hot. Games I keep, giveaways I keep, and enough music I keep with DJ Noy, Ruth Shireen, and more. It's the Love 101 FM 30th anniversary I Love Summer celebration. Yo, you can't afford to miss this Saturday, July 1, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Port Maria, roll out. Niceness I keep.
Welcome back to the program, The Mailbox, which happens every Wednesday at 5:30 here on Love 101, the family station. Court Morrison and Kevin Bailey here today. This is a program designed for men, hosted by men, and whose guests are men. And you just heard them talking about the I Love Summer program. Oh, Kevin on Saturday in Spanish Town. We had Deirdre Parchment. And she was just a talk. She did a She-Hulk thing, and she was enjoying herself. When you think so, some people quiet and silent. Some events bring it out differently. Port Maria, come Saturday, July 1. Yes, it will be another good time. I love summer. Come on, everybody join us. Man and man on the rush, go down there. Don't miss out on the fun and the excitement. It's going to be good. Our guest for this afternoon is Alex Orlando Henry. He is talking to the perspective of a single man. When a man love a woman, the youth we have an international. This gentleman, he is a no-nonsense person. He's either in or out. And it's interesting to hear his views on how a man loves a woman. How does he do it? What signs he exhibit? Some birds, like the peacock, just put up them tail and exhibit for the woman to come and look at it. Can a man fall in love with a woman he's not yet married to, Alex? That's a question we want to know. Tell us, can he, should he, or him should I wait till he's married? You're on mute, Alex.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can a man love a woman if he's not yet married? I think so. And I'll tell you why I said that. Because I don't think you're going to marry someone that you have no deep interest in or no deep feelings for. So it has to start from somewhere, the basis of friendship to the basis of relationship, courtship, and then, so there, I think at some point in that time, there has to be some kind of love for you to even want to push it. So in order to even want to get married, because I think that, you should date with purpose, date with intent. You not should just be dating because of dating sake. So if you date because for a reason, and the reason as Christians and as young persons, is to be married, to get married. So I think it is doable. It's definitely possible to love someone and not be married to them, because the hope is to be married to that person at some point in time.
Right. So a big question coming for you, Alex. Just before the big question, there's a WhatsApp here. Good evening, Kevin. How I know that he loves me? He went home and tell his mom and sister all about me. Even before they met me, when I asked him about them, he said, when I met them, they will tell me everything I want to know. So this person actually go home, tell mama, tell sister about me. Even before. That's a big one. Wouldn't you say, Alex, that
I think that's big indeed, because to your parents or your close relatives to go home and just express and say, and start telling them about it. Clearly you have a serious interest. I think that's one thing for me as well. I think the minute my mom or my parents know about you, I feel like there's progress. The other thing, I feel like if I invite you to my church, in my space where I worship, I think that's a big step for me as well. I feel because that's where I'm most comfortable. That's where I'm at. And I feel like these are things. So if I invite you to my church, I feel like at that point in time, yeah, man, you should not have anything to worry about.
big step. So the question I want to find out, I'm not sure if young people like yourself and others think about it, the high divorce rate. And this is of course in church, outside of church. From where you sit, what do you think is causing this? Why is it that you think people who say that they really love each other, they're committed, they go down the aisles, they make this commitment, and then 5 years, 7 years, 10 years after, Alex, they decide to call it quits? What are your thoughts? Love to get the young people like yourself perspective on what is driving home this divorce business. Talk to us.
All right. So for me, the first one was why are you getting married? I think that's a question that you should ask yourself personally. All right. Let me speak from the man's perspective because that's what we're talking about. As a man, that's a question that you should ask. Why do I want to marry this young lady? Why do I want to spend my life with this person? Right? And I feel like the minute you try to figure out that answer, then you can slowly ask other questions. What is going to happen when there's no more money, when we don't have any job, when kids are in the picture? And one of the things that we don't push, or I don't see it happening now in my space or younger generation, is counseling. I know it was a big thing, from my parents' days. Oh, you want to get married, you have to talk to my pastor. My pastor have to talk to you. We have to go to each other pastor if you're not from the same church. And then after having this conversation, then we'll decide, do we still want to do this? I feel like not a lot of persons are doing this. I think it's a matter of ego, because I had a conversation the other day and with a friend, and she said to me that if she's not married by 30, she's just going to marry anybody out there, because she feel like at that point in time, at 30, she needs to have her life together. She needs to have a husband. She needs to start thinking about kids and stuff like that. So getting married for the wrong reason, or just because time is so-called running out, I feel like that could be one of the reasons why it's leading to that. Not waiting. I feel like there shouldn't be any rush. But then, if we think about it, is that when we were growing up, we were told, oh, don't date, take your time, focus on this, focus on that. And then if you're in the church, and then at a certain point, yes, you reach 21, 22, and you start working, or you finish university and stuff like that. And then your church mother and the elders in the church, those says like, you're not planning to get married, you're not planning to do this, you need to. And I think the person now comes up, because at first you were telling me not to date. I'm not dating. Now you're saying, so when you're gonna date. So it tips the scale. So now I'm now pressured or forced to date because I want to make sure that everyone is okay and I'm also happy. And then I think these are leading factors to these things can cause that. That's just my opinion. I'm not sure.
Alex Henry is our guest. He's a minister, young man, unmarried. I saw someone, was it Erica Joan or Joan? I'm trying, something came up that says, yes, Alex, we're waiting. I'm not sure what she meant by that. I'm waiting for them to bring up back that social media response.
Yeah.
Evidently, that's someone you know. Evidently, that's someone that knows you. And say, Alex, we're waiting. I don't know. The name sound familiar? Yes, Joan Green says this is different. Are we waiting on single men talk? Whoa. And Joan Erica, I was right, said, let's go, Alex, we are waiting.
I'm not sure what we're waiting on, but okay.
Shani said, great point. The ladies are responding, and Shani says, true. So, can one make an error in judgment? Even through counseling, even after believing the Holy Spirit, have spoken with them. I don't know if this question is above your pay grade, seeing that you're not yet married, but do you believe one can make an error? And if they do, how do they correct it?
If nobody's perfect, and I think in marriage, somebody said to me that marriage cannot run on love alone. It takes a sacrifice and a lot of commitment. So I feel like at some point in time, mistakes are going to be made. However, what mistakes are there, and can they be looked looked upon. If I no longer have a job, will you stay with me because I no longer have a job, or will you now leave because at this point in time I don't have a job? So I think it depends on what it is. It can be looked up. You can errors are going to be made. They can work through it and push through it. But then I think there are things out there that persons will not what how to say it. Will just get like it's a no for them, so to say.
Yeah. And that's when they want to call it quits. Understand? Here's another question. Do you think the church, and I know this is one of Kevin's favorite questions, but I first in him today. Do you think that the church is doing enough to educate our young men, especially, that when they have this feeling that they feel, that they feel, that they have the feeling that they feel, and we call it love, about a young lady, how to approach a young lady? Is our approach right? Is there a time factor involved? Do you think we are doing enough as church?
I don't think so. I'll say this. We realize that there's a lot of women's conference, there's a lot of youth conference, there's a lot of things gearing towards specific, especially women, or divorced women, women of hurt, women. But there's nothing geared towards men. I say, all right, let's have a men's convention. Let's have men's. It happens, but you hear mostly of women or ladies ministry doing much more when it comes to these. So let's have a where we say, all right, the man them gonna come to church, and we just gonna discuss these important stuff, and then these things can be put apart, put out there. But will the men go there? That's another thing. Will they say, all right, then the church I keep something about men and marriage and love and relationship and time and all of these things? Are we willing to go there to listen to what the presenter has to say, or I would just make it stay and say, we don't think we need it? But I think the church should have more of these stuff, push it a lot more, because we see that the women do it. We see a lot of women conference over and over and over and over, but we don't see a lot of conference for men.
So true, Kevin. Even the singles conference are dominated by women in terms of numbers that are presented. Are women afraid to fall in love?
No.
You think they're afraid to fall in love? You think based on what they see love is, they shy away from it? They prefer to want to be like a Solomon.
And should they fall in it?
Yeah.
They fall in it?
I guess the word fall is what they don't want to do. They don't want to hurt themselves. What do you think? What's happening there?
Ask that question again for me, please.
Do you think our men are afraid to fall in love or to enact the whole love routine as described, to go through the process of dating, to go through the process of marriage, to be there after marriage? Describe for us what you see of our men.
I afraid is kind of a big thing, but I think some of them are. What I see is that men are afraid to be vulnerable. They're afraid to open, but they're afraid to let their guards down. Women are more susceptible to doing these things. They're more emotional, and they will share what their day is like and stuff. For me, if I have a bad day, I don't want to talk about it. Women are not like that. They have a bad day, they want to talk about it, they want to deal with it now. So I think they could be afraid. They're not opening up themselves, they're not being vulnerable enough, or they're holding on to some past hurt and trauma. Because I learned something recently. When men get hurt, they hold on it for a very long time, and after that, them shut out everybody, and that is it. When women get hurt, they might do that for a little while, close the gap for a little while, but at some point in time, they're willing to open up the gap again to let themselves feel, to let themselves go out there and be vulnerable. Men, no, they're not doing that. You hurt me one time, that is it. I don't want to be hurt again because I don't want to feel it, because we don't know how to deal with the whole emotional hurt and going through a breakup and stuff like that because I go through a breakup. I go to my bridging them and I talk to my bridging them about it. Bridging them all laugh and say, boy, I say go, keep it pushing. Women are going to cry and they're going to group together and they might say, it's okay and take as much time as you want. And they have the community to do that. Men don't have that. We laugh it off or we call it a day and we keep it pushing. So I think men are really afraid of certain commitments and to be vulnerable and to open up. And I myself fall in that category. I I'm not one to be very open towards certain stuff and be vulnerable. I'm working on it. I really am. Ladies, I'm working on it, but I'm not there as yet.
Thanks for being so open. Thanks for being so honest, sir. Indeed, we're talking to Orlando Henry. He's a minister, a young man, unmarried, and we're speaking to the topic of when a man loves a woman, and this is from the single man's perspective. He speaks about men being vulnerable, but yet we are afraid, and men being hurt. My question usually surrounds the word emotions and emotional. You know, when did the word emotional become feminine? When God gave us all emotions. And so our men do face an uphill battle trying to share. Is there a safe space for our men when they fall in love, get hurt, as you say? The support team is not there. They don't have that sort of community. Sometimes they might get laughed at, so they tend not to share. I want to know from you, Alex, because you sound like a man who has interest in someone already. And as look, you already spoke to the fact that you have been hurt, and you look like you're on the recovery and you're on the road. You're going back straight into something. What are you doing, and what advice would you give to our young men when they fall in love and it didn't work out quite the way they wanted to? How do they recover and how do they move forward?
Take some time. I think take some time for yourself. Take some time to heal. Take some time to reflect because I've been through it. I know the emotional burden is when it comes on to being hurt, especially if you think you didn't deserve it. So the most important thing, take as much time as you want to heal. Don't rush the process. Even if you meet somebody and you think that this is the person or you think you want to try it, be as slow as you can and be as cautious as you can because you really don't want to carry baggages from a past relationship or a past situation to something or to someone who didn't do anything to you at all and affect that and create a cycle that is unnecessary. So I think take the time you need because if one thing I think I know, and I say that is that there will be someone who will make you feel like yourself again at some point in time. I'm grateful at this point in time, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm grateful.
Wonderful advice. We just want to remind our listeners we're live on Facebook and YouTube. And remember, you can text us at 876-997-3125 to share your opinion, to share your views on this one. Our guest, Orlando Henry, When a Man Loves a Woman. And we're talking about the single man perspective. We have a segment called Junk Mail, and currently, boy, Orlando, this one is big for you, so I expect you to answer the one sharp, as you have answered every other question sharply. Yes, Kev, what is in Junk Mail today? You're muted, Kev. Yeah.
Yes, we're looking at, should a man spend money on a woman he is not married to? Should a man spend money on a woman that he is not married to? He's either dating, he's courting, but he spend money to send her to school, buy books, pay rent, helping her. She's having difficulty, but he cares for her. Alex, talk to us. Should a man spend on a woman that he is not married to? Spend money on her.
It takes nothing to be kind. Let me just lead off with that first. But also read the room. if you are in a position that you can assist, if it's something where it's, the person needs your help, school and stuff like, if you think you are in the position to do such a thing, go ahead, by all means. But what I would say is that I think that men should come on, man. If you want good things, them say you know that for run. And I think in courtship and dating, you have to take out the young lady. You have to carry her out. You're going to spend, or it is expected of you to spend. But I feel like you can read the room. I feel like in a society where women are so independent and empowered, there's nothing wrong with coming with a mutual agreement and say, all right, this time we go out, I'll have it. Next time, to find a balance. But I feel like if you're leading in the aspect of marriage, of course you're going to have to spend money because you want to marry this young lady. Me personally, if I have it, I go spend it. If I not have it, I go spend it. If I want it, I go spend it. I'm gonna do whatever it is that I can. That's just my personal opinion. I think other men share different sentiment, but there's nothing wrong with spending on a woman.
Hey Kev, some women you hear them saying them not marrying a mean man, So even in the dating and the courtship, they want to see us spending, So Orlando, do you think it should be an indication as to whether or not the relationship should go further, whether or not the man spends?
I no, I don't think so because I feel like there's value behind more. If you meet him before when you meet him, you never know say him have money. You did like him because him tall, dark, and handsome, 6'1" out of greatness, or because he's eloquent in whatever it is that he does, and so you never know. And then eventually find out that he doesn't have the money. Are you not going to leave? So what about the other interest that was there before? You're just going to negate them and stuff like that. I don't think um a man value should be based on the amount of money that he has or what he can do. We deserve love in every aspect. We shouldn't be loved just because we have money, and we should not get love because we don't have it, right? So I think that's an unfair statement to say, oh, I'm only going to talk to him because he have money. So what happens tomorrow when I don't have no money? You're going to leave? I mean, that really says a lot about your character and who you are as a person.
So what about the expectations? Certain men, they're spending money and they believe because they're spending the money on the woman, they own the woman. And if something happens and the woman decide, I want to leave this relationship, they're saying, no, I have invested all of this money in you, and the expectation is that you stay with me for life. And so either you pay me all about all of the money there, or and sometimes it even gets violent. And so what is happening there? I mean, what is really, is that love? Is that godly? And how do we escape that kind of a scenario? Talk to us, Alex.
I know that the ladies are here, so let me be very clear in what I'm saying. There's nobody forced you to do anything. You did this on your own. Even if she had asked and you did it because you wanted to do it. So even if she did ask, your answer could have been no, I don't want to do it, or I'm not going to do it. Nobody owes you anything. And I think some men should really understand that regardless of how many money you put in there or how many money you spend or what you invest, that nobody owes you anything. Something can happen tomorrow and they leave. They have all right to leave. They want to leave. Let them leave. Nobody owes you. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel away, going to feel like you were used and stuff like that. But nobody owes you anything. There's no expectation of anything. They didn't give anybody to put down. You didn't create anybody. You should not be violent. You should just leave it alone. Now I'm not for do there. She wants to leave. She don't want any advances. She doesn't want anything to let it slide. Let it slide and call it a day.
When a man loves a woman, you know, I guess we probably need to listen back to the words of Percy Sledge. Thank you for sharing so openly and honestly and candidly, Sir Henry. I don't know if we have anything from social media to share, but we just want to remind you that you are live on Facebook and that we are live on Facebook and YouTube as well. We just have a couple minutes, about 3 minutes to go before we leave out. So we just want to hear some final things from Mr. Henry. Kev, you look like you have a burning question. Shoot!
No, I just gonna ask Alex, just to give his best advice to the single men, so that they kind of know again, reinforce what they look for, and how can they be men of integrity as they navigate this dating and courtship landscape. So we don't use our women, we don't abuse our daughters and our sisters, and so what are some of the advice you'd give as we close?
Treat a woman how you'd want somebody to treat your daughter, how you want somebody to treat your aunt, your sister, your mother, stuff like that. I feel like the minute we understand that perspective, because as men, if we see somebody harming or hurting any woman that is close to us, we will probably get defensive and rile up and stuff like that. So I feel like we should take that into consideration. You treat a woman how do you want to see your mom or anybody close to you being treated. I don't feel like you should bash and stuff like that. As where dating is concerned, I want to be as careful as I can with saying this, because a lot of persons have a lot of difference in opinion when it comes on to dating. Because a lot of persons say that you can date multiple persons at once, or you can be exclusive. I feel like with dating, you have to be very careful of the expectations and the doors that you open, and what you let in, so to say. I feel like in these instances, take it. For me personally, I advise you to take it a step at a time. Take some time. It doesn't take. Be as slow and cautious as you can. If it's for you, it will be for you. Just maintain it. You don't have to rush in anything. Just do what and listen to what God has to say. Pray about it. Seek God's face about it. Hear what your mentor has to say about it. Your community has to say about it, and then you go from there. So I feel like these things are important stuff when it comes on to single men in church, especially when it comes on to dating, that you have to be very careful, especially if you hold positions and stuff in church and all of that things. It opens a lot of doors and stuff. So take your time, do what you think is best for yourself, pray about it, listen to your leaders and stuff like that. And from there you can just continue.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful advice. Kevin, we forgot to say congratulations to all the PEP students, Feltham Portmore students, all those who did well and those doing exams. We want to say thank you, though, to our producer, Trishan Brand, to Timothy Butler for technical support, and to you, our guest, Orlando. We end the show with this quote: "We don't love with our mind or our heart, but with our soul." Alice K. Green said that.
Yes, this was the program designed for men with guests who are men. And so thank you for being with us. Thanks again, Alex. And we will catch you next week, Courtney. How do we end this? Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Same place, same time next week. Monday.
Monday.